Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 26th. You have this up in the air card. It says, this situation has many unknown influences, has many unknown elements due to the influences of others. You have this make your mark card. It says, stick to a decision and don't allow outside forces to sway you. Yeah, I think it's a great time for, you to kind of like stick to something and to like make a decision and make it happen. Yeah, we have the Seven of Cups. These Seven of Cups, he's like spoiled for choice. He has a lot of different options in his life, and he kind of just needs to pick something and make it happen, right? I always say with the Seven of Cups that there are good things and bad things in those cups, but really he doesn't know what the outcome is going to be until he follows through on those cups, until he makes something happen. So I feel that for a lot of you, where it's like saying that it would be a good time to like really kind of pick something and make it happen here with that card. Now, everyone has had the Tower this week so far, so yeah, I mean, there could be some sort of global Tower moment. Every time this happens, usually something crazy happens in the world. So like last time the Pope died, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I wouldn't worry too much about it, especially when, everybody has it. In the area of your current general energies, you have the Nine of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. The Nine of Cups is a card of wish fulfillment or getting something that you wish for. I kind of feel that you have your eye on something here. You have that make your mark card, which is an arrow, right? And so the arrow is pointing towards one thing. And that's the Nine of Cups. We have to be in the energy of what we want so that we can get the wish. A lot of people read the Nine of Cups as wish fulfillment, but to get the wish, we have to like perfectly match the energy of the wish. We have to be in alignment with the wish to get it. And so I feel that, kind of focusing on exactly what you want is what you need to do, especially with this Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is a little bit scattered. There are good things and bad things in these cups, but he needs to like, kind of find out, really. He is dreaming almost too much about what he is trying to create in his life, and he's thinking about it. He's overthought it so much that he just spends his time thinking about the good and the bad without actually taking action. So he never finds out if what he's thinking about is going to work or not, right? And so I feel it's definitely time for you to take action on something that you've been dreaming about. Even the Knight of Cups is very dreamy. He is kind of like the dreamer. And so I do feel it is time for you to kind of like make your move here on something that you've been dreaming about. I think this is something you've been dreaming about committing to. You have the Four of Wands coming up. Not really a love reading yet. That could change in a minute, but I feel like that Four of Wands is really you kind of committing to a lifestyle. It's like that's more what I feel with this Seven of Cups. You have the Knight of Cups, so there is a little bit of love here, and you have the Emperor as well. If you are looking for love, you could be attracting like an Emperor and Empress, whatever, take it how it resonates, or just love in general. He's very dreamy. He has a dream. But he doesn't think he can necessarily, this is kind of accurate tarot, but kind of not at the same time. He might not think that he can accomplish his dream because he is standing in the desert, but he has this water flowing in front of him. So if he just plants the seeds of his dream, he will be successful. But that's kind of like the realization that he needs to have, is that he can be successful, if he sets his mind to it. If he actually takes action and makes something happen, things will go well for him. But again, he has to plant those seeds in front of that water to get them to grow. So I kind of feel this reading is saying it's time to like plant the seeds of your dream, or whatever it is that you are trying to do in your life. And yeah, that's what I'll say there. So let's see. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Four of Wands. I mean, I think I literally said that on that card. So, definitely something that you have to commit to. Some of you could be hoping or wishing or praying to get like someone that you could commit to in the future. So, again, this could be like marriage with a person. The Four of Wands is really a card of freedom. And, with Uranus and Taurus, although it will be leaving Taurus, I think that a lot of us, Uranus and Taurus makes us want to be set free. It makes us want more freedom in life. It makes us want to, experience more freedom as well. And so I feel like the Four of Wands really could also be talking about you setting yourself free from something. Even the Tower, those people are being set free. They have been ignoring reality. They have been building the tower up around them so that they don't have to see reality, and the universe is bringing them down to reality. So in a lot of ways, it's like the tower can be uncomfortable, but the Tower also makes us see things for how they actually are. The Tower makes us see the truth. So, this could be freedom. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Two of Cups. Yeah, Two of Cups could be a perfect match in love. So if you want love, it definitely is here. The Two of Cups is usually a person who's different than your usual type. The Two of Cups people can sometimes make us feel uncomfortable, but not like they're creepy or something like that, but just in the sense that maybe to be with them, you feel like you would have to improve, or you feel like you would have to change something about yourself, or highlight one of your traits, or whatever. It's like they make us uncomfortable in a good way, in the sense of growth, and so that could be happening for some of you. The Two of Cups is also you and your higher self. I do feel that just looking at the rest of the cards that are going on here, it's going to be a really important week for you to listen to your dreams, your daydreams, your intuitions, the thoughts that pop into your head randomly. All that other good stuff is what I would be listening to with this card. With the Knight of Cups, you have two cards. You have the Page of Cups and the Justice card. So definitely could be an admirer making an offer. You have the Justice card twice in your reading. We also go down through the Emperor, which would be a good thing. This could be a very fair person, a very balanced person, a person who really kind of, balances the sides of the connection out, things like that. This could also be you needing to create more balance in your life between dreaming and action. The Page of Cups is very dreamy, and I think you have the dreamy energy down. It's like you understand how to dream, or it's like you've been having plenty of dreams. These might be daydreams or imaginations, things like that. And the Justice card is kind of saying that now it's time to take a neutral perspective on your dreams. Again, the Seven of Cups, he's kind of out of balance, because on the Seven of Cups, he goes one side or the other. He thinks, oh, this definitely isn't going to work because of all these bad things. And then other times he gets very excited and he's like, this is going to work because of these good things that exist in the cups. And he's not taking a neutral perspective. He's not just saying to himself, I'm just going to see how this goes. Instead of thinking about what I want to accomplish right now, I'm just going to get started, right? Which is, that's really what I feel like the reading is asking you to do. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Good Fortune and Friendship card, which is nice. You have this Rejuvenation and Fulfillment card as well. Definitely with the Knight of Cups, Page of Cups, I think Cups cards, you have this Chalice card, which is basically a cup. These are very good cards for, resting, relaxing, recovering, healing, recharging your batteries, doing all that other stuff. So, anything you can do to heal, rest, relax, recover, recharge your batteries would be a good idea with these two cards. You have the Knight of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Knight of Swords. So you have three knights in this reading, and knights are all about action. The Knight of Pentacles is the only knight in the tarot that isn't taking action. He's not planting seeds in this field behind him, and he needs to take action. He needs to plant those seeds. He has all the knowledge and wisdom he needs as well. He has these oak leaves on his helmet, and those oak leaves represent knowledge and wisdom. So again, he's kind of looking at a blank canvas, and he could easily get started, but he's not. So that is the whole first row with that Seven of Cups is basically saying it's time to get started, and planting seeds on what you've been dreaming about, and it's time to make your move. And that's really the feeling I get there. You have the Emperor. It's time to boss up, right? The Emperor is a bossed up type of energy. So I do feel for some of you this could definitely be a person, but I also think that it is your energy right now, Virgo. I feel that you should be embracing the energy of, bossing up, taking the lead, making things happen, taking action, all that other good stuff. So that's definitely what I would do with this Emperor energy. The Emperor is also kind of like a rebirth in some ways. He has this Ankh right here that he's holding on to, and the Ankh is a symbol of rebirth, and you have the Tower. The Tower can definitely kind of represent a rebirth because, again, those people are coming down to reality. So it's they are changing their perspective on the world. They've been looking at it from their ivory tower, right? And now they're seeing things for how they really are. So there definitely could be, I don't know that this is a full blown out rebirth. If we get the Death card or the Judgment card, number one, Judgment would completely change the reading with the Tower, but, we'll talk about that if it happens. But the Death card definitely would kind of make the rebirth message a little bit stronger. But more importantly than that, I think you need to take the lead. You have the Knight of Swords. I'm actually going to show you on the table. Sometimes I feel that the Knight of Swords runs up to a card in the reading and then he goes back to the past, right? And so there could be like a situation that you are having to balance out in your life and the Knight of Swords basically says, don't run away, from the Justice card. So, it's saying don't run away from, balancing things out. So I'm not picking up on anything specific, but if there's a situation that you need to balance out, literally could be anything, I would take the time to do it because it'll be worth it, is what the reading is saying. The other thing is that like there's something here about you needing to stick up for yourself. Sometimes I do think that it isn't necessarily the right time to stick up for ourselves in some areas of life. I'm not saying that we should never stick up for ourselves, but it's like sometimes if like someone calls you out and you defend yourself, they make you look like a crazy person. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like this is different. I feel like there is something that could happen this week where you should stick up for yourself, where you should say something or speak up. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Star, so wouldn't even worry about the Tower. The Star is kind of the solution of the Tower. In the Major Arcana, we go from the Tower to the Star, and the Star is healing from a Tower moment. The Star also could be part of this thing, this dream that you're trying to accomplish. With the Star, we have to focus on this big star right here to accomplish the star. It's like having a North Star, having a major focus, or having that one thing that you focus on to make it happen. And that's what I would do with the Star card, is like I would really focus with this energy. With the Emperor, you have the Knight of Swords again. So Knight of Swords here could be, one thing, well, here's one other thing that I will say to you, Virgo, is with the Tower, the Knight of Swords can be people who are screaming that the sky is falling. I always say, do not jump to conclusions with the Knight of Swords, because, it can be one of those situations where, I don't know if you've ever had one of those moments where someone like rushes in, they're like in a heightened state, they're all excited, and they tell you something bad is going to happen, and then it doesn't, right? And it makes you excited as well, and you get all worried about something. That is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords can be a person who's rushing in. It's not necessarily that they're a bad person. They just might not have the details. So I always tell people with the Knight of Swords, if like someone is rushing into your life saying like, oh my God, this is going to happen at work, or, I just saw this happen, or whatever, you might want to wait and just kind of pause and think about it for a quick second and say like, well, I don't actually know the details on what this person is saying, so I should probably slow things down and get the details. And definitely the Tower is like the sky is falling. So I would be careful of people who say that. Right here, you can't make this up. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Tower. Like I said, this could just be a person who is rushing in, who is screaming like, oh my God, the sky is falling, something bad's happening, but it's totally not true. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Use Your Mind Wisely card and this Time to Let Go card. You definitely could be letting go of something with the Tower as well, because the Tower is you entering into new reality. It's kind of weird because we have this new moon on Monday, on the 26th of the week that this reading is for. And the new moon is very positive, so it is weird to see the Tower. Again, it's come up for almost every single sign this week, so it is kind of weird. But people could just be letting go of things, and so that they can have something better, and that could be what's happening. The groundhog is also an animal of rebirth, which we were talking about. The groundhogs have multiple chambers to their burrows. They move from one to the other, and it's like a symbol of rebirth. So definitely could be some sort of rebirth. Whenever I have this happen, by the way, whenever I have a card here and the same card at the top of the reading, to me, this is like the universe is zooming in on that card. The universe is giving us more details about the Tower. So you have the Tower. The Tower can be like a shock to the system. It can be stepping into a new reality, can be accepting reality for what it is. So, again, a lot of you could be kind of entering into some sort of new reality. With that releasing card, you could be kind of releasing something. What did that card say? Use your mind wisely. That's the other thing as well. Again, if there are Tower moments going on around you, use your mind wisely to navigate the situation. You have the Nine of Swords. This definitely could be a Tower moment. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Nine of Swords is something that is happening again. And so what I would say here is if you're dealing with like a person or a situation that has done something over and over and over again, then this could be the situation that you are rebirthing. You could be leaving a situation where, maybe a person keeps making mistakes, or, makes the same mistake, or maybe someone has done you dirty one too many times. And The Nine of Swords kind of says, how much longer are you going to put up with this, right? The Nine of Swords, I always say it's like I don't really like the Nine of Swords because he is in pain, but he's not in enough pain to do anything about his situation. And so he needs to get out of the Nine Swords. He needs to, kind of leave the situation he's in to improve his life. And I definitely think it would be worth it for you to kind of like get out of whatever it is that is causing you pain. You have the Justice card. Justice is like cause and effect, and it's also balance. Justice is also about taking a neutral perspective, which I think is the key word for you here, Virgo, is having a neutral perspective about what is happening in life and not thinking that it's bad or good, but more just sitting in the middle of it and saying, and kind of looking at it with clear eyes would be very beneficial with this energy. So I would make sure that you're kind of like looking at something with clear eyes. With the Tower card, you have the Queen of Wands. I mean, pretty good. I mean, if you're entering into something new, the Queen of Wands is a card of learning as you go. So, the Tower could just be kind of like culture shock, right? It's like if let's say that you've recently gotten a new job and you're starting your first day. It could be a little bit of a Tower moment in the sense that it's a shock to the system because you're entering into like a new work culture, right? The Queen of Wands is very good at learning as she goes. So I feel that, the Queen of Wands could be saying that you have to learn as you go. You have to kind of like go through the process of, just enjoying the journey or going on the journey in general. With the Nine of Swords, you have the King of Swords, knowledge and wisdom. You end with this card that says knowledge on it. I'll show you in a minute. The King of Swords is the card knowledge and wisdom. I always say he's been through the most battles out of any of the kings, and so he knows what to do. And I kind of feel this should give you confidence this week because the King of Swords kind of says you have more than enough knowledge and wisdom to kind of make your mark, right? We have this make your mark card, and so I think you need to stick to a decision, make it happen, and make your mark. And that could be the Tower moment, by the way, Virgo, is like you could be sticking to a decision that other people don't like. So I always say, the Tower can be a Tower moment that you're causing for other people. Like if you're making a change in your life, if you're quitting your job and your boss doesn't want you to quit, it's like, but you're making the best decision for yourself, but you might be causing a Tower moment for that person. So again, the Tower, like I said, doesn't have to be bad. Here we go, finally. With the Justice card, we have the Death card, a rebirth. A Tower moment can be a rebirth because you're entering into new reality. This reading is just basically saying that you're about to experience a major change in your life, or you're about to create a major change in your life. You could be creating some upheaval with the Tower in your life. Like I said, if you're quitting your job and your boss doesn't want you to quit your job, then that could be you kind of causing some upheaval or some conflict in your job, right? But I think this is a change that needs to happen. I really feel this is like a welcome change as well that's happening for you. So I kind of like this for you, Virgo, all in all. The other thing about the Death card is he has this white rose right here on his banner. And sorry, I have to make sure I'm still recording here. I am. So he has that white rose on his banner. And the white rose kind of represents the light at the end of the tunnel. So if you have been going through a Tower moment, you could finally be getting to the end. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have the Stay and Integrity card and this Knowledge card. Yes, if there are things going on around you, staying in integrity is a good idea. I feel like Knowledge is going to be your best friend this week, especially with that King of Swords, and also the Emperor as well. We don't look at the Emperor as a card of knowledge, but he does have knowledge. I mean, he is a leader, and he knows how to take the lead. So a lot of you could be taking the lead in life, or it's like saying you know how to take the lead in an important area of your life, and that's exactly what I would do with these two cards. You have the Five of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Two of Wands. Again, this is coming up in the good stuff. The Five of Wands can be conflict or competition, but in the area of the good stuff, it can say that you are overcoming some competition. And that could also be the Tower, right? Again, if you're causing a Tower moment for other people, then you could be beating the competition, and obviously that's going to cause a Tower moment for them. The Five of Wands is also a great card for adventure. So if you're in the good stuff, so if you're thinking about going on adventure, learning something new, this is a very good card to do that. You have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands really freedom. Again, the Tower moment, like sometimes I think we know we need to do something that we don't want to do. And the Four of Wands is like the freedom that comes after we do it. So, again, there might be something that you're kind of like questioning or something that you don't really want to do in your life. But it's like if you do it, you will be set free. And, this could be anything. It's like maybe you have to take the lead, maybe you have to quit your job, or maybe you're thinking about leaving your relationship. And again, obviously, people always ask me, I'm in love with my boyfriend. Does this mean I have to leave? No. Obviously, if it's a good relationship, stay. Trust me, you don't want to be running around out here on these streets, right? It is a war zone out here. So I'm not saying that you have to leave your relationship. But if it sucks and if it's not going well, then yes, maybe you have to set yourself free. And the Four of Wands really wants you to do that. You have the Two of Wands, again, taking the lead. Taurus also had a reading that was like all about taking the lead. So, you could be taking the lead on something that you're creating or working on. And the Two of Wands really wants us to step out into the world. The good news about the Two of Wands and the good stuff is that in the good stuff, it really represents making a lot of progress and moving forward. So a lot of you could be making a lot of progress at this time. With the Five of Wands, you have the Temperance card. Temperance is a card of patience. It's a card of alchemy. This could also, with the Five of Wands, this could say that you are kind of creating not really a turnaround, but you are finding a way to alchemize competition. So if you have competition in your life, the Temperance card could say that you're finding a way to like get above the competition, or you're finding a way to stand out above the competition. And I would do whatever you can to do that for sure. With the Four of Wands, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is about curiosity. We are in a time of curiosity. I think we are, with Pluto and Aquarius, we should all be asking a lot of questions, doing a lot of research, looking for answers with a lot of things, right? So I think looking for answers, doing research would be really good with the Page of Swords. And also being curious, following your curiosity. Your curiosity could lead you towards freedom, and that's what I would do with this card. If you want love, there definitely could be a person that has their eye on you, and it could be I feel it would be more of like an emperor type person, but maybe this is a new person that you haven't met yet. Usually I feel if you have the King of Swords in a reading, it kind of says that it's a person that you just don't know yet or you haven't met yet. So this could be a person that you will be meeting. With the Two of Wands, you have the Page of Wands. Yes, progress, going on an adventure. This is actually pretty good, really, after all of this right here. The Page of Wands is like the freedom to explore. It's a card of excitement. It's a card of, being able to go on adventures, have fun in life. And, I would be doing all those things. You have this December card and this bread card. It says period of prosperity and abundance. Really good. Between now and December, you might be kind of making it rain here. You also have this wealth card. I'm actually going to pull you an extra card because I feel like these are connected. The wealth card, it's kind of like raining money on that card. So whatever you're doing between now and December could be something that increases your finances. You have this torch. It says spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. Yeah, a lot of you could be developing more spiritually, or you could be focusing on your spiritual development or spiritual enlightenment. And so any spiritual work that you can do, this includes listening to yourself. Like I feel for you, Virgo, that listening to your inner voice and like really tapping in to that energy would be a good idea. People always ask me, like, how do you develop your intuition? I just say, well, you just have to listen to it. Anytime you have a gut feeling or an intuitive feeling, trust it, and then your intuition will get stronger. And that's what I feel like you have to do with this card. You have this hat card. It says you will be playing a different role. Told you, definitely could be like a work change, or, could be you stepping up into a leadership position in work or business, and you could be wearing a new hat. All your readings recently have been about you kind of like developing this new identity. And so part of that could be like a new job. Obviously when you get a new job, there could be a new identity. Next, you have this broken ring. It says parting of the ways in romance or business. Yes, we talked about this the whole time. It could be either for you here, Virgo. It's like, it kind of just gives me the vibes that you will be feeling very set free. Like if this is a job that you don't like, once you go get a new job and leave the old one, I feel that you are going to feel so much more free. And that's kind of like the feeling I was getting off of the Four of Wands in your reading. You have this tankard. It says celebration, fun, and enjoyment. So again, even with the tower, there's still plenty of fun, enjoyment, fun things coming in for you. Like I said, everyone has had the tower. So whenever everyone gets the tower, I just think it probably isn't a personal tower moment. It's probably a global tower moment that really won't affect you much. So I wouldn't like worry about the tower. And I would focus more on having fun and doing fun things. And that's what I would focus on. But interesting. Make your mark, Virgo. That's what I'm going to leave it on. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.